right, and we will go ahead and get started. So happy Friday, everybody. Thank you so much for coming to my first TED Talk, Tech Talk. TED Talks maybe in the future, right? But if you haven't already, please go ahead and sign in on the virtual sign-in sheet. If anyone new enters, I will repost that link, or if I don't notice and one of you guys would like to be a good Samaritan and do it for me, if that happens, I would appreciate it. Okay, so today we're going to be talking about Mango Languages and PrepStep. So these are the two supplemental programs that we have gotten from the library this semester, which I think is going to be really great. It's, you know, the Mango Languages is for the ESL department, and then GED is going to have PrepStep. So these are normally programs that you have to pay for a subscription for. So it's fantastic that we have the opportunity to use these for free and to be able to have our students using these to really, you know, just give them that extra time outside of class to practice the skills and, you know, continue working on those elements that you're teaching them in class. So I think they're really great. This is just going to be kind of a quick hour for you guys to get introduced to these programs, kind of experience them. You're going to experience them the same way our students do. There's no teacher aspect to this. It's totally supplemental. Like the students are just using them on their own. So you'll experience it the exact same way that the students do, which will just kind of give you that element to walk into class in the coming weeks and just be able to introduce it in a comfortable manner. And, you know, get your students kind of signed up and ready to go, and then let them use it as much as they want, sort of idea. So I do want to just start out with this quick reminder. Be sure that you access these programs from the links in your Blackboard pages. So every one of you guys on your Blackboard page, on that left column, the toolbar there, you should see a link. If you're teaching ESL, you'll see a link that says Mango Languages. If you're teaching GED classes, you'll see a link that says PrepStep. And that's for all of the classes. So if you do not see that for some reason on your Blackboard shell, let me know. So after you introduce it to your class, just make sure it is available. I set it as available when I put them in there, but I noticed some people have made it unavailable. So just a reminder that if you did that, make sure you do make it available for your students when you introduce it. The reason why you need to go through the Blackboard is because it takes you to a specific login that is Triton specific, right? So that's how it's going to recognize our license that's paid for by the college and that sort of thing. So it's important, I think, to remind our students, you know, don't just Google it to get the link. Don't just Google Mango Languages and click the first link, because they'll have a hard time logging in. You need to do it through that link in the Blackboard for that Triton specific login page. Any of you guys doing the essential education, we've run into this as well. So maybe this is sounding familiar. Okay, so I want to start off today.
Sorry.
Oh, go ahead, Monica.
Our students don't have access, like most of them don't have Triton email addresses, so they don't have access to the portal.
Right, I'm going to talk about that today. Don't worry.
Okay.
So yeah, we're going to go over that. There's some workarounds, you know, but it's such a pain not having these Triton addresses. I'm hoping after this semester we have a good argument to change that in the department, because there's a lot of things getting in the way there with that. Okay, so I'm going to start off talking about Mango Languages. And just as a quick reminder, I know that this is kind of split between the GED and ESL, but our students technically have access to both. So, you know, even if you are just teaching GED classes, and you have students who maybe English isn't their first language, and maybe they want to use Mango Languages for that, or if they just want to use Mango Languages to learn another language, it doesn't matter. They can still access this. So even though I put the specific links, depending on what you're teaching, this is open to all of our students. So I think it's good that you guys are here to kind of learn a little bit about both of these programs. So don't tune out if you're GED right now. Okay, so what is Mango Languages? It's just an online language learning website and mobile app. It's really cool. I am very critical of these things. There's a ton of them out there. Some are better than others, as I'm sure many of you know. And I'm really impressed with this one. I've been having a lot of fun getting in there and playing around with it. So I really do think that this is like one of the better online language learning programs I've seen. Why should our students use it? So the way that Mango works works is it kind of has like a way to adapt to your unique learning style. It helps you to pick up on new vocabulary, intuit unfamiliar grammatical structures, and it has a really great pronunciation element, which I'm a pronunciation nerd within ESL stuff. I love everything pronunciation and feel like there's not enough emphasis on it. So I'm always excited when I find programs that have really great pronunciation elements, and this does a great job of that. So I'm a huge fan of that. I think that's a great supplement to ESL classes, you know, especially something they can do on their own, maybe in private to work on. And it kind of has this cultural element as well, which is kind of nice. Everything's very interactive. So how can you support your students to use it effectively? Really, I just want you guys to introduce it to your students in class, you know, go like help them log into it, register, get an account, get familiar with it. And then, you know, you can either just push them to practice outside of class with it, or it can be something where you can have them, you know, with any sort of extra time, or if people are finishing activities at different times, it's a great thing to say, okay, take this time to open up Mango and work on, you know, a specific type of element that you want them to work on, or just do something on their own, right? It's just kind of like a great extra practice to have in class as well, if you want. So this is just kind of from Mango Languages, the website, and how they kind of break down the structure of how they teach language through this program. So they have a few different exercises. They have critical thinking exercises, memory building, grammar notes, and culture notes. So it's just kind of this idea that they're trying to keep the information relevant. It doesn't feel like you're sort of textbook. Maybe I'll never use that type of language that we often see in language learning. So I think they do a pretty good job with that. Again, like I said, they have a really great pronunciation element. They have good audio with pretty authentic speech. There's this really cool voice comparison part of the program, which I really love. And I'm going to show you guys how that works. It's like really, really cool on my side of just being into pronunciation stuff. It's very, very cool. And then they also have this sort of understood and literal meaning, where they kind of are able to highlight idioms and things like that, right? Which we all know English is full of idioms, so much that we don't even realize when we're using them. And it's great to highlight that for our students and just let them explore those a little bit more. And then they do this semantic color mapping, which you'll see a lot as you're kind of playing around with this. But this is great for visual learners to really kind of see the structure of the language along with, you know, kind of memorizing, because language is both, right? You need to understand the structure and you also need to just memorize some stuff. So I like how they mix that together. And they also have this sort of conversation-based methodology. So this intuitive language construction, right? They really give a lot of equal importance to vocabulary, pronunciation, grammar, and culture. They tie it all together really nicely. They make things feel very interactive throughout, which is a great way to tie together, you know, culture with grammar, vocabulary, and that sort of thing. That building block approach, again, that's kind of that visual learning thing that really helps you see the language and see how it compares to how you speak in your native language. And then they have a ton of vocabulary throughout that's constantly interactive as a way to constantly be engaging with new vocabulary. So the way it's kind of structured is that students can begin by taking a placement test, or they can just start working through the unit. So once they log in, they can just jump in and kind of go at whatever pace they're comfortable with. They can go through full unit by unit in, you know, numerical order, or they can jump around. It's really kind of up to them, but they do have pre-quizzes and post-quizzes for each unit that can give them that sort of, you know, progress that they're looking for, seeing how they're doing. That's also something that if you wanted to incorporate it into your class, that's another element that you could incorporate, kind of going through a unit together if you wanted. Units have interactive reading and listening segments, which we'll take a look at. And then there are also these supplemental tools built into the program and activities that are outside of the unit, but are really useful and really fun for the students to use. So Before you guys get into it, I'm just going to show you a little bit, and then I'll give you time after I'm done talking about this to do it. But the first thing I want to do is just kind of show you what it's going to look like when you get there. So once you click the link in your Blackboard page, you'll get to this site, which is the login. And you just want to make sure that that Triton College is at the top, right? So this is where if you're not signing in from the Blackboard page, you're going to run into some issues. So the next thing you're going to do is click on that sign up button. If you are not on Triton's Wi-Fi, then you're going to, it may prompt you for a code. So that's where you're going to see this code. So our students online, they might not see that Triton College at the top, or they might have a harder time getting to that. So they may need a code. I haven't tried this. I meant to try it last night and I forgot, but I haven't tried it from not on campus yet. So I'm not sure what that looks like exactly, but I'm going to kind of test that out over the weekend, and I'll update you guys on what that looks like. But this is a code we got from the library that will allow access even if you're not on Triton's Wi-Fi. You do not need a Triton email address for this. You either need to be on the Triton Wi-Fi or use this code, but you can use any email, any personal email that you have. So hopefully that won't be too big of an issue. So from once you sign up and you sign in, you will be prompted to pick a language. So English is obviously one of the options, and then you'll be asked to choose your native language. So by choosing a native language, this is going to be better for our lower level students because it's going to put the whole portal into that language. So that can be really helpful. But if we have higher level students, you might want to encourage your students to keep it in English, and that this is going to put the portal in English, and they'll navigate through it in English while practicing English as well. So, you know, that is an option for them. It's up to them what they choose to do. This is what it looks like when you kind of get started, once you logged in, chose your language. And this is, I chose English from a Spanish background. So my portal's in Spanish for the most part, not quite everything, but most things are in Spanish. And then I'll be practicing English as I go through. This is what one unit kind of looks like. So we have the pre-quiz, the post-quiz, a recap, and then all of the different chapters within the unit there. This is all in the Learn tab. So I want you to take a look at these tabs at the top. So there's 3 tabs. There's Learn, Explore, and Tools. So the Learn tab is where we're going to have all of the units and the practice and the structured activities, right? That's all going to be in the Learn tab. In each unit, you're going to see this goals at the top. And if you click on that, it's just going to show you what your goals are for this unit, right? So, or for that chapter. So chapter 1, salutations and small talk, conversation goals, and then grammar goals. And it just has them bullet points there. So if this is something you want to incorporate in your class, that's a very important thing to look at from the teacher perspective, to know what each unit is going to be focused on, okay? So I want to show you this video. Let me make sure. I think I did the thing I always tell you guys to do, and then I forgot to do it. Let me make sure I'm sharing my sound. Oh, it's not giving me the option. Give me 1 second, guys. I'm sorry. Share sound. There we go. Okay. So, sorry. I want to just show you guys what this looks like with the.
Let's learn how to say.
Sorry, I didn't realize it was playing. I would just want to show you guys what this looks like to do the voice comparison. So this is a very cool feature. You'll see this is that first unit, and I'm clicking on the listening activity. So that listening activity is going to give me an option to record myself and compare it to the speaker that is recorded. And it's like a little bit confusing. So I just wanted to show you what that looks like before you guys practice it on your own.
Now, let's learn how to say hello.
Hola.
Listen closely one more time.
Hola.
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 Hola. Hola.
Okay, so I kind of want to go through this really quickly in a little bit slower way without the sound. So what's happening here that I think is really cool is that you are getting a visual representation of the language, which again, for visual learners, this is fantastic. It's also just a great way to understand some really complicated pronunciation aspects without having to really talk about them in such a complex way, which can be a very big turnoff for students and teachers sometimes too. So, you know, this is a way where we are hearing the sound and we're seeing the sound. And by seeing the sound, we're getting input like stress, right? We're figuring out where the syllable stress is on that word. And we'll, you know, as the recordings get longer, we can see word stress within a sentence, that sort of thing. So here we can see that word stress is on that first syllable. It's much bigger. So then when we record ourselves, the thing that's a little tricky here is that you have to drag you kind of have to find your recording and drag it over. So you might not see it immediately if you don't start speaking as soon as you press record, because it's just kind of on a running track and it only gives you that small view. So that's where you just want to make sure you can drag your sound over and you get to see that visual comparison, which again, I think is very cool. So I can see, okay, I'm stressing on the same syllable that he was stressing at, and then I can play them each separately like I did, and then play them at the same time. And that way we're getting input like, you know, the timing of the language, the stress of the language, and also like listening to the intonation between the two as well. So this is a really cool feature that I would encourage, that I think you guys should encourage your students to use, because I don't see a lot of great opportunities for pronunciation practice like this. And I think that it's a very cool aspect. Okay, then we also have this interactive reading element, which I'm just going to pop over here and show you. So with this interactive reading element, I'm in that same first unit, right? And I'm just pressing the reading. And then from here, it gives you a little bit of, introduction to how many words, unique words, new words, what that all looks like. You can look at the new words first if you want. But I'm going to go ahead and press start. I can listen to it first.
Buenos días. Aquí el tiempo. Hoy lunes, la mañana está calurosa. Y la tarde también. Noche húmeda. Mañana martes, el día también caluroso. Y la noche lluviosa. Que tenga un buen día. Hasta mañana.
Okay, so we can listen to it, go through it, and read it while it's speaking. And then it's completely interactive. You can see that it shows you sort of a pronunciation writing, like writing it out phonetically, right? So that you see what it looks like. Buenos, right? Días, if I click.
Días.
Then I'll hear it very slowly to kind of go through. This is also like the lowest level, so it's very, very slow speech here. And then after I've read it, I've gone through, I've explored the vocabulary, I've practiced a little with it, then it actually has me really engage with the content to make sure I'm understanding what I'm reading as well, right? So what is most likely the purpose of the passage? And then I can answer, and it gives you some descriptions, right? Explanation, the paragraph opens with, aquí el tiempo, here's the weather, right? And then which of the following statements are true? Today it's hot, tomorrow will be humid, today and tomorrow are rainy. If you're wrong, it explains why is it wrong, giving an example from the text. What time of day was this report published? The report opens with Buenos dias, explaining what that means, right? So all of this has details, inferences, it goes through, and it starts at very like low, simple levels, which I think is great for some of our lower levels. But I really like how this interacts with the reading and how everything's kind of integrated, right? You're listening, you're reading, working on pronunciation, and then still engaging with the content. Okay, let me go back here. Okay, so now we're going to kind of move away from those structured units and look at the Explore tab. So in the Explore tab, what they have are Mango movies, which this is like kind of a fun element that I think some students may really enjoy. When I was teaching English, I had students all the time talking about how, you know, they love watching movies, but it's hard to watch a 2.5 hour long movie in English without Spanish subtitles, right? That's a big kind of an overload. Like you may not be getting what you need out of it for your level. So this is kind of giving it to our students like actual authentic movies, but just in, you know, nice little digestible chunks. So it's cool. They have the ratings here, kind of showing you what, you know, 18 plus 13, just to let our students know what they're getting into. And they can watch the movies through Mango in an interactive way, take them through a film scene by scene. So you get kind of like 4 or 5 minute chunks. And it's accompanied by captions along with short activities before they watch and after that help them, you know, before it kind of helps them get introduced to the vocabulary they're about to listen to, so they're really ready to engage with it. It kind of sets them up to be able to sit and watch a scene from an actual movie in that language and know what it means, which can feel really rewarding, because I think what happens a lot of times is they might watch a movie and they're like, I don't understand anything, I'm terrible at this, right? So this can be kind of like an ego booster to be able to set them up to actually do well in watching some authentic speech. It's great for vocabulary acquisition and definitely listening to authentic speech and pronunciation, which they can always use more, especially if we have students who, you know, have more monolingual social life, monolingual families where they're not really getting as much exposure as they wish they were getting, you know, authentically. This is just a screenshot from what it looks like in that sort of theater, right? So we've got the, this is like a 4.5 minute, sorry, this isn't a great image, it's a little blurry, but we've got, I think, about a 4.5 minute scene where I had already gone through, they introduced the vocabulary. You can see those color-coded captions at the bottom, sticking with that sort of visual learning aspect that they're always kind of including in this program. And you watch about 4.5 minutes, and then you follow it up with some activities as well for comprehension. The next tab they have is the tools tab. So this is just a translator, but it's great to have it all in the system. So this is an app as well as a website. So students who have the app, it does just kind of make it a little easier to just pop over, use that translator as they need it, right? So that is there for them to use as well. Okay, so let's go ahead and take some time, take about 5-10 minutes. I want you guys to go into your Blackboard, use the link. This is going to be a great opportunity for you guys to tell me if you have any trouble logging in and if you need that code or not. I think, yeah, David.
I have actually, when I click on the link, it takes me to a page that looks different from the page that you showed initially.
Oh, what does it look like for you?
It looks like the kind of page that I would get if I'm trying to access something through the library. So it gives me a Triton College logo at the very top. Underneath it asks for my username and password. But when I put my Triton email address and the password that I use to get into my email, for example, it says, what does it say? It says something like access denied or something like that.
I have the same situation as David.
Same situation? Okay.
Do you use at triton.edu?
Oh, without edu, exactly. I didn't, sorry.
So that was my initial question. Our students cannot access this page because they do not have it. So what do they need to type in order to get through that library part? Right.
So what I think it will do, and again, I mentioned I forgot to try this last night, but what I think it should prompt them for that code, right? So if I go back a bunch, there's this code. So if you're not using a Triton email, it should prompt you for a code, and they should be able to type in this code, and it should still connect them to Triton. That's what we were told from the librarian. So I will definitely try that out this weekend and see how that works, but that should work. If they're on campus, they don't need the code. They can just use whatever email. Like I did it from my Gmail account today on campus using Triton Wi-Fi. It was fine. They didn't prompt me for a code. So I think it's only if you're using a non-Triton email and you are not using Triton Wi-Fi.
So they cannot get to the page that you're showing us right now unless they enter their portal credentials or their email credentials.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Okay.
So in order to get to this page, they need to enter their Triton email and their password.
I understand. I understand now. Okay. So if that's the case, I will add, or maybe I will change the link. I might just have to add the link, like a different link for accessing off campus. And I can add that to your Blackboards, and that will just be a link that will take you to Mango Languages, and it should provide, it won't be through the library, and it should be able to offer you an opportunity to connect to Triton with a code then. So Monica, I will definitely figure that out this weekend, and by Monday have that, have a workaround for that. But is everyone able to log in now? Here. David, were you able to get it?
No, I'm creating an account for myself because I understand I need to do that, right?
Sorry?
I need to create an account for myself because I did
Yes.
find this page. Okay, so I'm
Okay,
just
perfect.
creating-
Yeah, so
I'm doing
everyone
that
needs
right
to create,
A
you need
city?
to,
Oh, to create. Yeah, username wasn't found, it said.
Yeah, likewise with me. I wasn't able to.
We have to create the account, yeah.
yeah,
That's
you
what-
have to create an account, correct. So that sign up, what's circled on the screen right now, you need to create an account before you log in, and you can use your Triton email for that. Viola, you said you signed in as a guest. Did that still give you access to everything the same as like, did that still give you access to everything with the Triton affiliation?
It looks like yes.
Oh, okay.
And I use my personal email as well, because that's like, I don't want to sign up with my Triton email. I want to make sure that my students know how to, like,
Yeah, that's great. Okay.
like not using Triton email.
Okay, great. This can be a learning experience for us all then. Thank you for participating. So let me know if it prompts you for that code or not, Monica.
No, it didn't.
It didn't, but it still let you log in, and it still has the Triton at the top?
Because I logged in through the
To
library.
get to the library page.
And once I logged in through the library, I was able to use any email at that point to set it up.
Gotcha.
I don't know how to get to this page without going through the library.
Right. So that is the part that I will fill in that blank this weekend. I will figure that part out for sure.
Because in order to log into the library, it's like logging into the portal or to your email.
Right. Okay. Well, yeah, I will figure that part out.
Hello.
Hi, how are you today?
All right, I heard Natalia is logged in.
For the life of me, I'm not able to get access to Mango.
So Ava, can you tell me what's happening? Sorry.
Yeah, I keep, for some reason, it keeps coming back to what David said initially, to that Triton, college library. I try to sign in also through the library, but it's still coming up and I'm not able to access it.
Are you trying to log in on that? Try to log in to the library using your Triton email. Is
I
that not
did.
working?
Right, and it's not working for me.
Ava, you don't type at triton.edu, just type Ava Gonzalez, that's it.
Right, which I have, and it's still not working for me. So I don't know.
And you use the same password as for your email?
I do, yes. Mm-hmm. So I don't know.
And Cassidy, I have a question.
Yeah.
When you select English, it prompts you to choose the native language of the student. What if a language is not listed?
If it's not listed, they can choose English and just have the whole portal be in English. It is a little limited. It doesn't have every language.
Without selecting a mother tongue?
Sorry?
Without selecting that mother tongue, the native language?
Yeah, so you can, it should give you the option to choose English also, right? Or maybe that's just looking at.
Yes, but then you have to select English
Oh, it's going to be separate.
for a certain language speaker.
Okay, so it doesn't give you an option to choose English?
Let's say my native language is Persian and it's not listed.
Gotcha.
Same with me, it's Martina. I tried to look for another language, but English is not available as a mother tongue because otherwise students wouldn't be.
Right, I was thinking for some reason I went, okay, let's see.
Okay.
Yeah, and I chose Polish. It was there, but now I wanted like everything to switch to English, and I don't know how to like update my
Right, that's what I'm looking to see how to do right now, because you should be able to. If I do that. Yeah, it looks like it doesn't
Monica,
let
go
you.
to tools, maybe that will help.
No, I went to tools. Now I'm somewhere I can't even exit out from.
Go back, click on the arrow, go back.
Activity. Let's see, maybe if I start over, let's see what happens. Okay, so one thing that can happen, so this is like the login or sign up page that's not connected to Triton, right? This is like just the generic mangolanguages.com/welcome. So if I want to sign up, let's see if it automatically recognizes. Agree. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead, we'll pick, oh, it didn't ask me for my native language this time. Well, let's see if it, yeah, it automatically recognized me to be a part of Triton when I use my Triton email. So you don't have to, I guess you don't technically have to go through that website. So what I'll do is I'll change the links on your Blackboard pages so that it just goes to the regular sign-in page. And then your students should be able to access it from home a little bit more easily without having to go through the library. They'll just have to make sure that they're affiliating with the organization by using that code. And again, I'll get a little more information about that and send out information either later today or Monday morning with that. With that native language though, I think, yeah, that's probably, it sounds like that's just going to be a limitation. It looks like if we are not, it looks like that we're just, if their native language is not there, that's going to be an issue. So
I agree. I just wanted to say Ukrainian is not there, and I've got a lot of students from Ukraine.
right. I mean, in that case, most of them,
because they're younger.
They don't speak Russian?
No, because they're younger and they say they didn't study in school. I mean, they might have to choose Russian, but I wonder, there is Haitian, but there's not Ukrainian. There's some very rare languages.
That feels political to me. I don't know.
I don't know.
I have a student who speaks Burmese and it's not listed.
Yeah, there's no Bulgarian either. Yes, I just noticed.
Okay, I'm gonna take notes of these things. So there's no Bulgarian, there's no Ukrainian, there's no Persian.
Yes.
Cassidy, can you just show me how to change the language of the language of all the content, like the instructions into a different language, like Spanish, for example? How do I do that?
Right, so that was what you can do at the beginning, which I was trying to bring that back up, but it didn't even ask me for some reason. It should have come up, it came up last time, where you pick the language you want to study, and then it should prompt you for what your native language is, right? Whereas now it's not doing that for some reason. So again, this is just a weird sort of kink we're running into with this.
Yeah, I saw that at the beginning when you showed it to us, but then when I tried to find it myself on the Mango, I can't find it. I don't really know where
Okay,
it
so
is.
maybe
It didn't
if I
ask me.
choose, okay, so if you choose English, that's how it will ask you. That was the thing. So I chose English, and then it will prompt you for your native, your mother tongue, native language. So these are the only options. That is limited. That is very limited. You're right. So you know, it is something where, you know, this could be a program that's probably constantly being worked on and being updated. And I'm going to reach out to them and just let them know what languages are missing and what we could really be using. And we are, you know, paying customers from the college. So it could be something that could be a great motivation for them to get a little bit more languages in here. And so I'll definitely do that. But I am really surprised to not see Ukrainian in here for sure. So yeah, take note of it. It is a limitation. So there's nothing we can do about that. Unfortunately, these are the only languages that we have access to for the actual program. So that's unfortunate. Yeah, I thought, sorry, that's, you know, on me too. I thought that they were able to choose English or choose the platform to be in English. So yeah. I'll look into that a little bit more and see if there's any workarounds with that. But go ahead and just take some time right now if everyone's logged in and just kind of play around with it a little bit. And then
I have another problem because I'm studying Turkish, and you know, a while ago I signed up to learn Turkish, and now when I want to switch back to English, it prompts me into English with Turkish as the
to have a Turkish as your mother tongue.
I'm just stuck with Turkish now.
Now you're stuck having, it's a good Turkish challenge for you now, right? If you want to change, if you click on this symbol up at the top left, that'll bring your language options up.
Yeah,
so you should be able to change it from there if you need to.
English, but English for Turkish speakers.
So it doesn't even give you an option?
No, it doesn't give me an option. It recognizes my first sign up to learn.
Gotcha. Huh, yeah. Interesting. Okay. All right, so Rita asked me a couple questions. Rita, yes, our GED students can use Mango languages as well, for sure. And then what would the search term be in the library? If you're searching in the library, it probably would just be Mango languages, is my guess. But I think, I don't know, sometimes the library search isn't always as direct as you would think it would be. So
what came up, Cassidy, what came up on that kind of search was just a bunch of articles about Mango languages.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's why if you just go to Mango, and I'll put this in the chat actually for everybody. So I think if you just go to Mango languages, so if you just go to the main Mango languages page, then you might still, you should still be able to log in and then be prompted to create or to add that code to affiliate you with Triton. Or if you use your Triton email to sign up, it should just automatically recognize you.
Actually, it did not. I did do that by going to their website. And now it's giving me a choice of free or paying for a subscription.
So if you click on pay for subscription, does it give you an option to link an affiliation with a code?
You know what? I didn't try that. I will do that.
Okay. This is the test that I need to run, so this is helpful. Okay, guys. I do want to be able to take a little bit of time to show you PrepStep too. So I want to kind of get moving a little bit on this. So I'm definitely taking note of everything that we're running into. A little like we are definitely running into some more limitations than I anticipated with our students and their language backgrounds. That's a big one. And trying to get it a little bit smoother for logging in off campus. So those are things I'm going to be working on, and I will definitely be getting back with more information about all of that, so that you guys can guide your students a little bit more smoothly to get into this program. So I'm going to share, I have a couple of Padlets I made. I'm just going to share it at the end so we don't take time doing that right now, but I do just want to get like your feedback, and this is a great opportunity to write down some of these problems you're running into. And that'll just be a way to kind of put in writing somewhere some of those issues we ran into, or if you're having any ideas on how it can be useful in the future with your students and that sort of thing, just some of your initial thoughts as we're going through this. But I am gonna move forward a little bit unless there are any final questions that you guys want to ask about this right now.
Cassidy, I wanted to let you know that when I put in, when I clicked on the subscribe, it asks you for your school name and password. So that code is actually a password.
Okay, great. And it works?
Yes.
Fantastic. Thank you so much for being my guinea pig for that. That's great. That is good to know. Thank you.
Uh-huh.
Okay. All right. So like I said, I've got a Padlet for you guys to put your kind of initial thoughts on, and we'll kind of re-engage with that at the end there. But I do want to move forward into PrepStep. I hope you guys are a little bit excited about Mango. I think it's really useful, but it is, I think, one of those things that we're realizing it's a little bit more catered to native English speakers than necessarily non-native English speakers, right? So that is definitely a limitation, but there are some very cool features on there to play around with. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and jump forward and just kind of introduce PrepStep a little bit. So what is PrepStep? This is going to help students build foundational skills for college success, improve core English, math, and science skills, score higher on college placement tests, acquire basic computer skills, build workplace skills, and explore careers, and prepare for grad school and occupational exams, and succeed in college and beyond. So it's basically just an online portal that's going to really reinforce all the skills that they're getting in their GED classes already. It has a list of targeted learning centers. That's kind of what they call each of the sections. So they have college success skills, core math and science, core English, core, career prep, placement test prep, basic computer skills, grad school admissions prep, and then they also have a Spanish center. So if you are teaching any of the Spanish GED classes, there are a few resources for Spanish speakers, but it's not nearly as robust as what is available for English speakers. So this is what it looks like when you kind of get to that home page. These are all of those learning centers there. So it has all of the different skills. When you click on one, it kind of has a drop down and shows you the different activities within each one that you can choose. And like I said, they do have those resources for Spanish speakers, but again, it is very limited. So I did just want to point out that they do offer this sort of English to Spanish toggle that you see on the top of the screen in user settings. However, it doesn't really do much. So I would not really, use, like, I think it makes you think that you're going to get to change the portal into Spanish, but it doesn't change hardly anything. It just will change maybe the settings page but none of the content changes into Spanish. So I feel like it's a little bit of a letdown to see that there. This is what it looks like in your center. So we have the home, which is what I just showed you, and then this is your center. And this kind of just shows you your progress and what you're doing. So you can see I've worked on one tutorial and then 2 computer courses. It'll show you tests as you start taking tests, articles, flashcards, and ebooks. So there are a lot of tests in this program. So this is a really great resource for your students to do a lot of test taking practice, which can be useful. So especially students getting ready to take their GED or other exams, it's good to have a lot of practice to get, better at taking tests. So they do have 3 different levels that you can take a test. You can start as a learner, and that lets you view the answers to each question as you go. And it's more of like a way to study the questions versus really take the test. Then you can do a practice where you see answer explanations after you've finished. The test is timed, but it doesn't actually stop you. It just kind of shows you how long it took you to take it. And then you can do an actual test simulation where the test is actually stopped at the time limit and kind of tells you the score that you got. So to show you what it kind of looks like. So we have, of course, another hoop to jump through with logins. So with this one, and this may actually be something that we might just want to encourage our students to do right now to make life a little easier, I don't know. But basically they have to have a Triton email to log in to PrepStep. There isn't a workaround. So they have to request it from WebAdvisor. So what they'll have to do is follow these steps on the page. So they will create a message addressed to WebAdvisor at triton.edu from their personal email. In the subject line, they'll write My Triton Portal Access. And in the message, they'll just provide their full name and date of birth. So they have an example here. Who is it to? What does the subject say? And then the content to put into the email. So my name is, my date of birth is, I'm an adult education student and I need access to my Triton. They'll receive a confirmation back from WebAdvisor, and that will give them a username and a password. So it takes 24 hours after they get that for it to be active. So this is maybe something you can have your students do in class with you. And then the next day they will be able to use that Triton ID. So once they have that, then they can log right into PrepStep with their Triton ID. And this may actually be something that you guys want to do to make logging into Mango easier too. I don't know. But I guess it may not be any different if you're not on campus anyway. So maybe it shouldn't make too big of a difference for Mango. But yeah, this is just something that we have to do for PrepStep access, unfortunately. So this is kind of what it looks like when you click the link, or maybe I will be told pretty soon that it looks different when you're not on Triton Wi-Fi. And again, you'll have to register first. So even though you have a Triton email, you'll still need to register within PrepStep. So you can go ahead and register. And again, just make sure that you see that Triton College as your institution. This part here where it asks if you're a European Union citizen, I think even if your students are, tell them to click no, because I think it might direct them to a different portal. So that might be good to take note. Fill in all of the information. They don't need course ID and course section number. But this email is where they will need to use that Triton email that they got from WebAdvisor request. This is kind of what it looks like when you get in there. So there's these different options. So we have tests, tutorials, ebooks, and flashcards. I already showed you a little bit of that test option. This is an example of the ebook. So this is in the geometry section. And you have 2 ebooks that you can download directly to your computer. And it just kind of is like a geometry textbook, goes through different activities and lessons. And it is a nice resource for them to have on their own. So ebooks are great. This is an example of the tutorial. So again, we're still in geometry, and you can kind of see on the left-hand screen the all of the different units. So there's a pre-test, 5 different units, and then a course summary and a post-test. So this can be an entire tutorial that they go through. Some of them are different. So some of them are videos, some of them are just different lessons that you read through and interact with. They're all a little different depending on what topic you're in. Like there's a couple of computer course ones that are all videos. So it's just watching a lot of different videos. And then you can kind of see it shows you at the end of the tutorial what that you should be able to do. So find measurements, determine midpoint, coordinate planes, construct circles, that sort of thing. And then it lets you either go ahead and start with the pretest, or you can just get right into the tutorial. So again, it's very student-led, and they can do it on their own, however they would prefer. They also have flashcards. So this is kind of what those flashcards look like. And this is just a great way to study. You can see at the bottom, we have 100 flashcards here, and this little button kind of flips the flashcard over. So it gives you the questions, and then you press the button and it flips it over for you. You can also access the flashcard settings. And what that does, it gives you this screen, which kind of lets you change things if you want to shuffle the cards, show the answer first rather than the question, or show both at once, that sort of thing. Or if there's different levels of difficulty, it'll give you that option as well. Okay, so again, let's take a little bit of time. I would love for you guys, if for the GED teachers, you guys have this link in your Blackboard. Do we have both teachers here right now? I guess I should have been sharing the links because I forgot only GED or ESL teachers have the specific links. So I can share the link with you, and you guys can play with it on your own. Oh, that's probably. Here we have PrepStep. And maybe, oh, sorry, 1 second. Let me see if I can get. You guys can let me know if that link works for you off campus or not.
Yes, it opens.
It opens. Okay, thank you so much, Martina. Great.
Sure.
And then you should just be able to log in without any problem using your Triton email, or not log in, register before you log in using your Triton email. Okay. Let me go about, share my screen.
Cassidy, about Mango, I just deleted my earlier account in Mangoes. And then when I wanted to sign in again, I deleted the profile that was registered there. And then next to languages, that limited list of languages, there's a link for see all. And when I clicked on it, there's a longer list of languages, and Persian is included, but Bulgarian isn't. Yeah, a longer list of languages. So Persian is right there, but I'm not concerned about my native language. I'm concerned about some students.
Right.
Have. Yeah.
So Maya, does it have Ukrainian?
Let me see.
And that's for the native tongue,
Yes.
not for the learning languages?
Yeah, Ukrainian is there.
Ooh. So what did you do? Can you walk us through it again?
Yeah, because I had already set up an account with Turkish. I deleted that and I deleted my profile. And when I wanted to sign up again, it prompts you to choose a language. So that limited list of languages appeared, but there's a link that says see all languages. I clicked on that, and then a long list of languages. You see that, see all?
Ah, okay. So, but this is still for choosing a language to study. So this is still not the mother tongue option, which is, that's where we're running into, I
But
think,
still, in this list, you can't see Bulgarian, but you can see Ukrainian and Persian.
So this is still, however, going to be if I'm studying to learn Ukrainian rather than my mother tongue is Ukrainian.
Yeah.
So that's the problem, is they don't have enough translations of the portal, you know, to be in like Ukrainian or Bulgarian. So yeah, thank you for pointing that out. But yeah, I think we're still in a little bit of a pickle with that, because if I pick English, these are still, I believe, the only options that we have.
Yeah.
Which is really a shame. I at least want to figure out, I feel like at least they will give us a way to maybe have the portal in English while we're studying English. That would be great, but that might, I'll look into it. This will be something I'll look into. Okay, guys, I'm sorry that this took a little longer and we ran into some snags. However, I would like to finish up. I don't want to keep you guys longer than you have to be. So I am just going to share again. I've got a couple of Padlets. Just whenever you get a chance, I'll share these in the chat real quick right now. Or you can use the QR codes. Let me just put these in the chat. So there's just a couple of Padlets. Oh, sorry, I sent that to Rita only. There are a couple of Padlets that I love you guys to just add some thoughts to. You know, some initial thoughts or some things that you would like to see changed. I have like a few, like columns that you guys can add to, but you can add notes regarding anything. So it's up to you. So if you guys don't mind just taking some time to do that, and then otherwise we can go ahead and finish up. And like I said, I will reach out to you all by Monday with some more information about this stuff. But thank you guys so much for coming today. I hope it was at least a little bit helpful, and hopefully we can get a little bit more figured out to use these more effectively. But I'm always here to talk about them more in the future if you'd like, okay?
Thank you, bye-bye.
Thank you, bye.
All right, bye guys.
Thank you.
Bye, it's good to see you all.